Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Kenroy here. Thank you so much for joining me once again, and thank you for all of your support. At the time of recording this video, I am so close to hitting 300 subscribers, and I want to say a huge thank you for all of your support so far. The comments have been really nice, and I'm glad that a lot of people have been enjoying the content that I've been sharing. I've been receiving a lot of feedback, and I'm trying my best to take as much of that on board as possible. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, my brother and I, we went hunting for some materials to renovate his garden. One of his garden fences had blown down, so we decided that we wanted to do it ourselves. Now, here on this channel, I try to show you that you can actually save money by doing your own DIY projects, and as such, I wanted to undertake this one with my brother. So we went out looking for materials, fence panels, gravel boards and fence posts. If you want to check that video out, guys, I'll just put the link above, so feel free to check that out. So after the materials were delivered, we were finally ready to actually get the job on the way. And at the end of this recording, I wasn't able to quite finish the entire job. However, we were able to get it so close to the finishing line. And in the weeks to come, we will be finishing up that job as well as painting that fence. But this video is just to show you that you can actually do things yourself around your house in order to save yourself hundreds of pounds. And I hope that you enjoy it. If you are looking to do your own DIY garden fence, let me just encourage you to let you know that you can actually make it a reality. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as you really do help me as I continue to grow this channel. Okay guys, so first things first, we had to clear the area where we were going to erect this fence panel. Like I said before, there was some fence panel there that was completely and utterly destroyed over the years. God knows how long they've actually been there. We had to dig out a lot of shrubs and some hedging that was there before, and you know, there were a lot of heavy big stumps that were left behind. We've actually gotten rid of most of those before last year. And as you can see, the weeds took over and started to grow. So now while my brother is at work, I decided to start the job by just clearing the area until he comes home, and you know, we can hopefully get the ball rolling. As you can see guys, the garden isn't in the best of conditions, so I started off by just clearing all of the shrubs, getting rid of the tree stumps that were there from before. I then proceeded to digging up the soil, getting rid of all of the pieces of bricks and anything that, you know, obviously we don't need in the actual garden. Started making a pile of rubbles on the side. Now I'd save these bits of bricks for later, because what we're going to actually do is use them to fill up the holes for when we put the fence posts into the ground. And this was a tip that I've learned from my neighbor, who is a landscape gardener. He's basically the master, and I'm certainly the apprentice. So once my brother came home, he helped me finish up clearing the area. We couldn't find the supplies that we needed, you know, at a price that we were looking for, and so we had to wait a little while, but we thought we would at least get the ball rolling. So here you can see us just clearing the area, making it nice and accessible for when it's time for us to dig the holes for the fence post, and yeah, to get the garden up and running really. So fast forward about a month and a half later, we were finally able to get our hands on the gravel boards, the fence panels, the slotted posts, as well as some postcrete, which is the concrete mix that we use to pour into the foot of the actual fence post. So we decided not to get an additional fence post, rather we decided to attach the gravel board to the brick built shed which is in the garden, and we done this by using some brackets, and all we really wanted was for something to hold the gravel board in place so that they wouldn't move over the years, and we found that metal brackets you know, really worked to treat. We simply drilled some holes and attached them onto the actual concrete shed, which obviously isn't going anywhere. That will then basically lead into the first fence post that will go into the ground. My brother and I, we're complete novices at this. I've only done this once really in my own garden renovation. So we decided to measure, not just once, not just twice, perhaps 3 or 4 times, just to make sure that everything was in balance, to make sure that everything was level. We took our time with this because we didn't want to rush. Because one thing that I've learned from my previous experience with putting up fence panels and fence posts is that if you get one of them out of sync, you'll actually have a knock-on effect of the fence panels and posts that will be coming behind that one. So my top tip for you is to make sure that you get your plumb, get your level spot on every time, because if you get it out of sync, trust me, oh, it's going to be an absolute nightmare as you move along. There's not a huge margin for error. Once you've poured the postcrete into the holes and it starts setting, that's almost it. You can't really move them about. Like you can't just pull out a screw and try again. These fence panels and fence posts actually weigh a ton, so it's crucial that you just get things right, go slowly. There's one thing that we done wrong during this whole process, and to be honest, I'm still pretty proud with how everything came together. We didn't actually use the string line in the way in which I'd hoped for. You basically use a string line running parallel to the fencing to get you a nice straight line from start to finish, and unfortunately along the way we kind of forgot to use a string line in the right way, and we sort of just did it by eye. And all this basically meant is that it wasn't as straight as we would have wanted it to. So if you look from the bottom of the fence all the way to the top, you can see some slight bowing in certain areas. So apart from aesthetic wise, when you look in parallel to the actual fence post, it's not a big deal. But that's something I'll definitely say you guys should look out for if you're planning on doing this job yourself. So once the first one was in, we were good to go. We took a 15 centimeter measurement from the top of the first fence post, and that would be our first drop, in order to account for the slope which the garden was on. So the garden actually goes down a little hill, it's on a decline, and basically means that we wouldn't be able to just keep the fence panels straight all the way along, for obvious reason. So we had to go with the flow and actually have a system in place where we would have 15 centimeter drops for every fence panel, and this would allow us to have a nice step down effect. And I think it came off pretty well actually. Once we took that 15 centimeter measurement from the top, we knew how high the fence panel would actually have to sit on the gravel boards, and then we basically took it from there. Once again, just keep on measuring, checking your levels, and once you're able to do that, you'll have the desired effect of 15 centimeter drop on each fence panel, which really looks nice. After we got the first couple of fence panels in, along with the gravel boards and posts, it was fairly straightforward to just rinse and repeat. Now we took our time and made our way down, gravel board by gravel board, fence panel by fence panel, and within no time we were nearly done. Now in the grand scheme of things, we didn't have a lot to actually install. However, because we did all the prep work from before, it seemed like a really quick job that we were able to do in one afternoon after we both finished work. But we wouldn't have been able to do this if we were trying to do this all at once. So I definitely recommend not trying to do it all at once if you're doing it yourself. Break it up over a couple of days or perhaps even weeks if possible. As long as you have the time, I think it's a good idea, because these gravel boards and fence panels are incredibly heavy.
On the line, this is looking good, man.
So you got to make sure that you have help if you're going to be doing this yourself. Don't try to do it yourself, because like I said, they're super heavy.
Now we realized very early on that we did a miscalculation with the fence panels. I don't know how we managed to get that wrong, but anyway, you know, when you're novices, stuff like this do happen. So we were one fence panel short. So we'll have to go and order another fence panel in order to cut that one in half and fix it to the end. So here we go guys, it's all done and dusted, just like that. Where there was no fencing before, we now have a beautiful fence that is just waiting to be painted. Now we were going to try and get this painted before, and you know, to show you guys what the finished product looks like, but unfortunately we just haven't gotten around to doing that because we were super busy. But as you can see, the fence panels from my point of view looks really nice. You know, it flows really well. You can see the drops as it goes down the slope, as it is a sloping garden, and we saved ourselves hundreds and hundreds of pounds. The cheapest quote that we got to do this job was around £950. Now bearing in mind we bought all the materials for around £265, and then we basically did all the work ourselves. So we saved ourselves an incredible huge amount of money that obviously can be put towards doing something else. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video guys, and if you got any questions or comments, please put them below and I'll try my best to answer them. If you're thinking about doing a similar project, I'd love to hear from you.
There you go guys, all done and dusted. Well, at least for now, until we get the final fence panel which we need in order to cut that in half and finish off the job. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that if you're thinking about doing your own DIY garden project, I hope that this would have encouraged you, you know, to try and do it yourself, because honestly the amount of money you will save will be a lot. Gardens are super expensive. However, a nice garden, like I always said, can add tremendous value to your property, so it's well worth looking into. So if you've got a garden of your own guys and it's a bit run down, you know, it needs a bit of modernization, some new fence panels, maybe some new turf, what's stopping you from getting this done? Please let me know in the comments below. Hopefully this video would have shown you that you can actually get this done. As always guys, this is Kenroy saying, I'll see you when you see me. Take care.